The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world.
If you were a child in the 1990s, or even the parent of one, this song is probably imprinted forever on your brain, even if you have no idea who that is singing it.
Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore there were...
He's Alan Menken, and he wrote the music you're hearing. It's from Disney's The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, under the sea, under the sea.
This song and the score for the film won Menken his first 2 Oscars.
Tale as old as time, true as it can be.
He won 2 more for Beauty and the Beast.
Don't you dare close your eyes. Hold your breath, it gets better.
Aladdin won him his next 2. If you're counting, that's 6.
And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon.
Pocahontas and the song Colors of the Wind won him numbers 7 and 8. That's right, Alan Menken has won 8 Oscars, more than anybody else alive, all of them for animated Disney musicals.
This was the first one. This was Little Mermaid.
May I touch it?
Yeah, you can hold it.
So this was the very first movie score you ever did. You won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Not bad for a guy who thought his destiny was dentistry.
My grandfather was a dentist, my father was a dentist, my father's brother, my mother's sister's husband was a dentist, my father's sister's husband is a dentist. So I thought, well, I guess I'll be a dentist, except I was not a very good student. I couldn't concentrate well, I was very ADD. I loved music.
But dentistry did find its way into his first hit musical, the stage, and then the 1986 movie version of Little Shop of Horrors, about a man-eating plant named Audrey 2.
Feed me, Carbon, feed me now.
In the film, Steve Martin plays, what else, a sadistic dentist.
I'm your dentist, and I get off on the pain I inflict.
Little Shop is probably the most completely fabulous experience of my career. It was the first. It was Howard and me coming of age together.
Menken wrote the music. The late Howard Ashman wrote the lyrics. It was Ashman who brought Alan Menken into the world of Disney to provide the soundtrack for what turned out to be a new golden age of animated musicals.
Certainly what we did was we brought musical theater, original musical theater, back into film, for sure.
How would you describe your own style, your own work?
My songs are infectious, vulnerable, unguarded, joyful. It's basically kind of childlike, in a way. I do my best work when I'm serving something bigger than myself.
Quasimodo!
He thinks his best was for The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Menken has written the music for a dozen Disney films over more than 2 decades. But not all of his scores have been for animated films or for Disney. His latest is for Mirror, Mirror, opening next month.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Snow White. What?
What? Snow White.
I know what
It's Snow White, updated, with Julia Roberts as the evil queen.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
the Queen has this little game going where actual people are playing the pieces on a chessboard.
Menken used a clip of the film to show us how he works.
C to D4.
His tools? A synthesizer hooked up to a very sophisticated computer program.
In the simplest possible terms, I want to make sure that when that boom goes, that I've created a piece of music that will climax on that and catch that particular spot.
First comes a piano version. Hear the clicks? They tell him exactly where each note has to hit.
Clearly, this kind of game is kind of a suppressed violence in a way. So it's everything about it is about dum pa pa bum, very delicate until bam.
Here's the final version.
C to D4. Baron, you've been beaten for the last 5 minutes and didn't even know it.
He works at home. His studio is part of a country compound north of New York City, where he's lived for nearly 20 years. A lifestyle all those Disney fairy tales helped to pay for. But for a man whose career has been very Hollywood, Alan Menken's personal life is very un-Hollywood, revolving around his 2 grown daughters and his wife Janice, a former ballet dancer. He took us on a tour of what he calls the Tortorium, where her 7 tortoises live.
Tortorium is a word that I guess maybe we made it up. I don't think it really exists, but it's an environment for tortoises. The floors are heated, the environment is heated. We have our fans to move the air.
You built a whole house for tortoises.
We did.
The biggest one is Petunia.
This is great. If you guys are interested, I also could play the piano for you. And you ain't got a clue where you're heading toward. You're dancing in the devil's shoes.
The song is from Leap of Faith, about a phony faith healer. Based on a 1992 film, it's headed for Broadway, with music by Menken.
Give me something to believe in. One damn thing and we'll be even.
By the time it opens in April, he'll have 3 shows running on Broadway simultaneously. Turning movies into Broadway musicals has become a kind of second career for Alan Menken, especially all those 90s Disney films he did. Newsies didn't win any awards when it came out in 1992.
4, 5, 6, 8, and 1.
But now, giving it an afterlife on stage.
You know what I believe. Look into my eyes and see.
For Alan Menken, at 62, that's award enough.
Honestly, the best award is going into the first day of a rehearsal and everybody's there and they're excited and there's joy and you've created something that is real. That's infectious, amazing.